Can Brendan Rodgers bring fresh ideas to Arsenal and be more successful than Arsène Wenger? Hello everyone, this is the What If League, and today's episode is what if Arsenal sacked Arsène Wenger and decided to hire Brendan Rodgers in his place? This would mean that Arsène Wenger would be sacked on the 19th of February 2018. This is just before the Carabao Cup final, and Brendan Rodgers would leave his Celtic head coach position to join the London Gunners. This experiment is mainly created because there is a lot of unrest in the Arsenal fans' ranks, and some of them are trying to prepare for the inevitable change of managers that is going to happen when Wenger steps away. But there are also some fans and neutrals that think that it's high time for Arsène Wenger to give somebody else the chance to lead the London Arsenal team. In this video we are going to see what happens until the end of the first season 2017-18, and afterwards I'm going to fast forward 3 more years into the future. Then we're going to make a summary of what happened in that period. So bear with me, now I'm going to fast forward until the 2nd of June 2018, and we'll check what happened in this first season for Brendan Rodgers' Arsenal. Alright, here we are. This is the end of the season, and you can see Manchester City were crowned champions with 92 points, 8 more than second place Manchester United, and Tottenham and Liverpool completed the top 4. Arsenal were left out of the Champions League access giving places. They are in 6th position with 67 points, which is 7 points less than Liverpool and Tottenham, who are in 3rd and 4th respectively. Now let's have a quick look at what happened in the other competitions and how did the Gunners perform. Just before I do that, I want to just quickly mention that Huddersfield won their last game of the season 3-2 at home against Arsenal. If Arsenal did win that game, they would have been in 5th position, which is not a huge difference, but it's interesting to notice that they lost their final game of the season. Now here we are in Arsenal's overview page. We can see that captain is Per Mertesacker, vice captain Laurent Koscielny, so not any changes there, and the key player is Mesut Özil. This shouldn't surprise anybody. Let's have a quick look at the tactics screen. Now we see that Rodgers is employing a 4-2-3-1 tactics, which is not different at all from what Wenger used to use, with Aubameyang up top, Welbeck and Mkhitaryan on the wings, with Mesut Özil playing in the number 10 position. Jack Wilshere and Santi Cazorla, who has apparently recovered from his injury, are in the middle of the field, with the back 4 consisting of Monreal, Koscielny, Mertesacker and Shkodran Mustafi playing as a right fullback. This is surprising to me, at least, just in front of Petr Cech, of course. Now let's have a look at their schedule and how did they perform. So this change was done on the 19th of February. There we are. Afterwards, they eliminated Fenerbahce, and they won against Chelsea in the League Cup final. Now, this is interesting, since Chelsea were not supposed to be their opponent in the League Cup final, but in any case, they won that game, and the first trophy of Brendan Rodgers' era at Arsenal has begun. Afterwards, they went on a very strong series of wins and only 1 draw against Leicester away from home in the Premier League. You can see this, so this is 2, 4, 5. 7 wins in a row, and then another 4 before a loss to Newcastle, and then they had a bit of a bad patch, a rough patch there. They lost to Milan and to Manchester United 2 games in a row. In the end, however, you can see that they were very successful in the Europa League, which they won against Villarreal in the final. So Brendan Rodgers managed to bring 2 trophies to the Emirates Stadium in his first half a season at the helm of Arsenal. In this game against Villarreal, they won after Mesut Özil, Dani Welbeck and Henning Mkhitaryan scored to give the victory to the English team. Now let's have a quick look at the League Cup final as well. I'll be very interesting to see what happened there. Let's have a quick look. Mesut Özil scored the winning goal just after the restart of the game in the second half. On the other hand, Chelsea apparently had a lot of problems containing Arsenal and managed to get themselves quite a lot of yellow cards. Now, before I fast forward 3 more years into the future, let's have a quick look who are the top performers at this Arsenal team. We can see that Mesut Özil is leading the way in terms of average rating, followed by Henrik Mkhitaryan, Alexandre Lacazette, Per Mertesacker, and then Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Not really surprising, while at the bottom of the table we can see worst performers. Mohamed Elneny is one of those who played a lot of games. Then we have Sead Kolasinac, also Jack Wilshere have below 7, Hector Bellerin as well. Otherwise, everybody else had a positive second half of the season, with Brendan Rodgers in charge of Arsenal. With that, I'm now going to fast forward 3 years into the future so that we can see and judge whether Brendan Rodgers was truly successful in his new team. Now the date is 2nd of June 2021, and first of all let's see what happened in the Premier League. In the first season, as we already saw, Manchester City were crowned champions. Then year after that, Manchester United claimed the title with 85 points, which was 2 more than Manchester City and 3 more than Arsenal, who climbed 3 places up the table and are now found themselves in 3rd position. Chelsea completed the top 4 in that year. Year after that, Arsenal claimed another 3rd position. This time they were 5 points off the eventual champions, Manchester United again. They managed to defend the title. Tottenham and Chelsea were the other 2 teams in the top 4. And in the final season, Manchester United claimed the 3rd successive title in the Premier League. This time they had 88 points, which was 2 more than 2nd place Chelsea, and 8 more than 3rd place Arsenal. So for Arsenal, this was 3 years in a row at the 3rd position, which gave access to the Champions League. Tottenham were also qualified in the Champions League spots, completing the top 4. Now to have a look at the Arsenal page, we can see Laurent Koscielny is the new captain. Emre Can is their vice captain, which means apparently that they brought the player from Liverpool, or maybe he went somewhere in between. We will have a look at that a bit later. And their key player right now is right fullback Hector Bellerin. Now to look at their tactics, now Rodgers is employing a 3-4-1-2 tactics, quite interesting, with James Burke, Laurent Koscielny and Shkodran Mustafi in defense, just in front of Geronimo Rulli, the new goalkeeper for them. We have some other new faces here. Emre Can, as we already mentioned. Irving Lozano from PSV Eindhoven has been brought as well. Now he's playing as a left midfielder. Mesut Özil is still in the team as the number 10, and in front we have Alexandre Lacazette and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Next off, let's have a quick look at the transfers made by Rodgers in the first season. Of course, there weren't any. Now in the next one, he brought Morgan Sanson from Marseille. He's a central midfielder, a French midfielder. He's already sold to Bordeaux, as we can see. Irving Lozano from PSV Eindhoven for £20.5 million. Apparently this is a very good transfer. I think Irving Lozano is one of the players with a lot of potential, and he has increased his value immensely since then. Angel Correa was brought from Atletico Madrid for £28 million as well, and Blaise Matuidi from Juventus. This is a very big transfer, I would say, for Arsenal. £32 million paid to Juventus for his signature. In the outgoing section, we can see that David Ospina left for Torino, Takuma Asano was sold to Malaga, and all the other transfers were insignificant or just loan deals. Year after that, Alvaro Odriozola has been brought from Real Sociedad for £35.5 million. He is a right fullback. Geronimo Rulli from the same team for £31 million. He is a goalkeeper, and he has replaced Petr Cech in between the posts of the Arsenal team. Ryan Bertrand has been brought from Aston Villa. This is interesting. Ryan Bertrand is a player that played for Southampton in reality, so apparently he was sold to Aston Villa and then brought Arsenal by Brendan Rodgers for £11 million. Another very interesting transfer here, we see Riyad Mahrez from Leicester has been brought for £44 million. Joe Hart came on a free transfer from West Ham apparently, and Emre Can was brought from Liverpool, who managed to extend his contract and then sell him to Arsenal for £62 million. A very, very interesting and important transfer. In the outgoing section, Emiliano Martinez, who is the reserve goalkeeper, was sold to Sporting Clube de Portugal for £7.5 million. Rob Holding was sold to Everton. Morgan Sanson to Bordeaux, we already mentioned that. Sead Kolasinac to Napoli, and Callum Chambers to Leicester. And in the final season here, Emerson was brought from Brighton. This is very odd. Emerson is a left fullback who is also capable to play on the right side. He is playing at Roma in reality, and he has been brought. We can see here, actually he is playing at Chelsea. Then Chelsea sold him to Brighton, and Arsenal bought him from Brighton. This is very, very surprising turn of events for me. Ruben Semedo from Villarreal was brought as well. Ryan Whitbread, I'm not familiar with that name. This is a Regen, a very young English striker who has a lot of potential apparently, and Rodgers is probably looking forward to developing his talent. Cameron Thompson from Fulham, this is a 21-year-old English striker, another one. He's currently playing on loan at Mansfield. I'm not really sure if this guy is going to make it. He does not have the best stats at this age, and I'm not feeling very positive for him. Samu Castillejo, I'm not familiar with that name as well. He is a left midfielder coming from Real Madrid, and let's see. He was brought from Villarreal, so originally this player starts at Villarreal in the game. He's actually a Malaga graduate, but then Arsenal brought him in 2021 in the January transfer window. In the outgoing section, we can see that Granit Xhaka was sold to Barcelona. Keleshin Vakali, this is a young player that was sold to Başakşehir in Turkey. Angel Correa was sold to Manchester City for £48.5 million. And that's the last of the significant transfers that Brendan Rodgers made. Now, switching our attention to the cup competitions in England, we can see that Manchester United and West Ham won the first two FA Cups in this experiment, while Arsenal won that trophy in the third year in season 2019-20, while Stoke claimed the last trophy in the oldest football competition in the world. Now, let's also have a quick look at the League Cup and what happened there. Arsenal won 3 of the last 4 League Cups in the game, so they won the first one. We already saw that against Chelsea in that final where they won 1-0. Then in the next year they were victorious again. In the third season, Everton claimed the trophy, and in the last year they beat Bournemouth in the final where Danny Welbeck, Emre Can and newcomer Samu Castillejo scored to bring the trophy to the Emirates. Switching our attention to the European competitions and the Europa League, as we already saw, Arsenal won the Europa League in the first season after defeating Villarreal in the final. In order to qualify for that game, they defeated Milan in the semi-final and Red Bull Leipzig in the quarterfinals. Before that, Benfica were eliminated by Arsenal in the second knockout round. Year after that, Chelsea claimed this trophy after defeating Roma in the final. Chelsea also eliminated Juventus on penalties in the semi-final, Borussia Dortmund in the quarters, and German team Köln in the second knockout round. In the third season, Borussia Mönchengladbach were successful in claiming the Europa League trophy after defeating Juventus on penalties in the final. They also eliminated Athletic Bilbao on penalties. Before that, Sporting Clube de Portugal and PSV Eindhoven on their way to the final. In the final season, Manchester City claimed the Europa League trophy after beating Liverpool in an all-English final, 1-0 in that game. Manchester City also eliminated Real Madrid, Lazio and Monaco on their way to this trophy. It was played in Ununispor Kompleksi in Turkey, where Manchester City claimed this big victory against their English opponents. Moving one tier up to the Champions League, where in the first season the biggest trophy in European football went to Barcelona, who beat Manchester United in the final. Barcelona also eliminated French team Monaco, Manchester City and Liverpool on their way to the trophy. In the second season, Atletico Madrid were the winners of the Champions League after beating Paris Saint-Germain in the final. They also eliminated Zenit, Monaco and Manchester City on their way to this trophy. Arsenal eliminated Bayern Munich in the first knockout round, but then were defeated by Zenit St. Petersburg in the quarterfinals. In the third season, Paris Saint-Germain were successful and victorious, claiming the Champions League after beating Chelsea in the final. They also eliminated Barcelona, Manchester City and Leverkusen on their way to the trophy, while Arsenal won against Lyon in the first knockout round, only to be eliminated by Barcelona in the quarterfinals. Then in the last season of this video, Tottenham won 3-2 in the final against Bayern Munich, so the London neighbours of Arsenal were successful to claim the biggest trophy in European football. Tottenham also eliminated Atletico Madrid, Roma and Leverkusen on their way to the final that was played in Stade Orange Velodrome in France. This is the home stadium of Olympique Marseille. And we can see that Arsenal were eliminated in the first knockout round by CSKA Moscow. So apparently Brendan Rodgers did not manage to win the Champions League, but they did win the Europa League and claim 3 League Cup titles as well as 1 FA Cup. So a lot of trophies brought by Brendan Rodgers to Arsenal, as well as claiming 3rd spot in the Premier League. Now before I finish this video, I want to have a look at the Ballon d'Or awards. We can see that Lionel Messi won the award in 2018 with Suarez and Isco in 2nd and 3rd place respectively. Year after that, Paulo Dybala claimed the individual awards, followed by Neymar and Messi, and in the final year Messi reclaimed it again, Neymar 2nd place and Antoine Griezmann in 3rd spot. Alright, that's it for this video. Don't forget to like it and subscribe if you haven't already for my channel, that way you're going to receive notifications for when I upload new videos. In the meantime, you can also check out my social media, links will be provided in the description below. Let me know what do you guys think about this experiment and what would you like to see next. I would love to hear from you in the comments. Once again, thank you for watching. Until the next time, bye!